Hello everybody, my name is Timothy and I want to welcome you to Up Penang on the Penang Travel Tips YouTube channel. Today is Friday the 12th of December 2025 and let's look at what's been happening in Penang for the past 3 days since last Wednesday. So let's get on with the news. We open today's news bulletin with Pesta Pulau Pinang. Pesta Pulau Pinang to go on 6-year hiatus for Mutiara LRT construction. A major Penang institution is pausing its annual run to make way for the state's biggest infrastructure project. The Star reports that the 2025-2026 edition of Pesta Pulau Pinang will be the last held at the Tapak Pesta Pulau Pinang before the event goes on a 6-year hiatus. Chief Minister Chow confirmed this significant postponement is necessary to allow for the construction of the Mutiara Light Rail Transit LRT line and a transit-oriented development TOD by MRT Corp at the site. The CM, speaking at the opening ceremony on Thursday night, noted that while the festival was initially expected to be postponed last year, MRT Corp will only take over the 8.14 hectare site in April 2026, allowing the current 59th edition to proceed. The festival, which features stalls from SMEs and international pavilions, runs for 36 days until January 10, 2026 and marks the end of an era for the site, which has been its home since 1974. The community's long-standing support was symbolized by the Pesta Fun Walk, recognizing the event's 59th year journey from a simple sales carnival to a celebrated annual fixture. Next, Penang disburses 2.5 million ringgit to support non-Islamic houses of worship. The Penang state government has reinforced its deep commitment to religious harmony and social cohesion with a significant financial allocation. Bulletin Mutiara reports that Chief Minister Chow presented 2.495 million ringgit in financial aid to 78 non-Islamic houses of worship under the RIBI Fund, Rumah Ibadat Bukan Islam, for the 2025 cycle. The Chief Minister stated that this annual program is a manifestation of the administration's continuous dedication to nurturing an inclusive and united society, noting that since 2016, the fund has approved 16.1 million ringgit across 411 applications. State Executive Councillor Lim Siew Kim highlighted that this year marked the first fully online application cycle via the new e-RIBI system developed by Harmonico, which has dramatically increased efficiency and transparency. While the digital shift contributed to the highest number of applications ever recorded, Lim urged future applicants to ensure complete documentation, as 29 submissions this year could not be processed due to missing details. The Chief Minister and Lim Siew Kim both underscored that unity across diverse cultures and faiths is the fundamental strength and unique fabric of Penang society. Fa La La 2.0 Christmas Wonderland returns to Andaman Island. A spellbinding festival event is transforming Andaman Island into a holiday escape starting today. A press release received by Up Penang confirms that Fa La La 2.0 burst back onto the scene, transforming the E&O Gallery grounds into a snowy nutcracker wonderland. Happening across 2 joyful weekends, December 12 to 14 and December 19 to 21, the event promises shimmering snowfall, enchanting music, and a curated showcase of festive treasures. Datuk Seri T. Eng Ho, Executive Chairman of Eastern and Oriental Berhad, stated that hosting the event in this setting reflects the state's continued growth and appeal, aiming to encourage more visitors to experience Penang during the festive season. Tonight, the event kicks off at 4 p.m. with the signature Christmas tree illumination scheduled for 8 p.m. Guests can expect hands-on activities like wreath making and candy apple dipping, along with a kids bumpy ride, a bonfire s'mores corner, and classic entertainment including Christmas carolers and a nutcracker ballet performance. The venue is also pet-friendly, ensuring a welcoming, elegant and memorable seasonal celebration for everyone. Final probe into fatal Butterworth blaze nears completion. The Penang Fire and Rescue Department is urgently working to finalize its investigation into the tragic fire that claimed the lives of a mother and her adopted daughter in Telok Ayer Tower this week. Malay Mail reports that State JBPM Director Muhammad Syukri Hamzah confirmed that the department's fire forensics team continued its investigation at the scene on Thursday using two K9 detection dogs, Woody and Sam, to help identify the precise cause of the incident. In a heartbreaking development, the K9 dogs discovered additional body fragments belonging to the young girl. The incident saw the mother, Hayani Yaakob, in her 50s, and her 5-year-old adopted daughter, Andra, perish after being trapped, while the son sustained severe injuries from a collapsing roof. Authorities are currently awaiting DNA test results, which are expected to take up to 1 week to formally confirm the victims' identities before the remains can be released for burial. The police have classified the incident as a sudden death report pending the official fire forensic report. Man arrested in Seberang Jaya after confessing to wife's murder. A distressing criminal case is under investigation on the mainland after a man turned himself in to police. The New Straits Times reports that a 28-year-old man was arrested in Seberang Jaya this morning after he confessed to a police station that he had killed his wife 4 days prior. State Chief Police Dato' Azizi Ismail confirmed the incident, stating the case is being investigated under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder. Police subsequently discovered the body of a 44-year-old woman in a back room of their apartment unit in Jalan Tuna. The victim, a mother of 5 who worked at a local supermarket, had sustained knife wounds to the neck. The unemployed suspect was immediately taken into custody. It was revealed that the suspect had a prior criminal record involving drug-related offences and criminal intimidation, adding complexity to the ongoing investigation. Man found deceased in Georgetown flat after firefighters forced entry. Emergency services responded to a welfare check call in Georgetown yesterday, leading to a tragic discovery. The New Straits Times reports that a 57-year-old man was found dead inside his log flat at Sri Saujana, Lebo Makalam. Firefighters from the Lebo Pantai Fire Station were called by police to assist in gaining entry to the 9th floor unit. Penang Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director, Operations, John Sagun Francis, confirmed that specialized tools were used to force open the locked door. Upon entry, the occupant was found unconscious. Medical personnel from the Health Ministry confirmed that the man had died. The victim's body was handed over to police for further action, and the operation concluded shortly after. The police investigation is now underway to determine the cause of death. So there we are, the news from the past 3 days since Wednesday, and if you have something coming up, you can also get it announced here on WhatsApp Penang by just sending it to me and on this email address, penangtraveltips@gmail.com, and if I find it relevant, I will put it in the subsequent edition of WhatsApp Penang. And until I meet you again, which is God willing on Monday, which is the coming Monday, that would be 13, 14, 15, the 15th of December 2025. This is Timothy signing off.